Welcome back to phase 2 of your blues lead guitar. Things are going to take off from here. First thing we're going to do is learn two new shapes for our three chords. So for now you should be familiar with your A and your A7 from last week, your D and your D7, and your E and your E7. So what we're going to do now is slim them down in a more practical approach for soloing guitar. So from our A chord, what we're going to have is just the center three strings. It's the same three notes that you're already holding in the bar, but we're going to play them with different fingers. So what we're going to do is take the third finger, do the 7th fret on your your D string, your 4th string. Middle finger is going to have the 6th, and first finger is going to have the 5th. It's the same as what you're already grabbing here in your bar, but now we're eliminating and doing more of a practical approach. And this helps for the visualization too, because as you go through and you play, we have a tendency, of course, to look at our hands for guidance. And so what we're trying to do is pull it away from this parent shape into the essential notes of the chord. So this is now going to be your A chord. Okay, so our D, what we're going to do is take the upper two notes, the 2nd and the 3rd string notes, these notes that are already included in the bar, and we're going to add one more, and it's the note that most people aren't flexible enough, myself included, to get in this chord, this D chord, which is actually at the 5th fret back here. So I know we haven't really learned that note, but that's okay, is that you'll start to see that this is really the upper part of a D chord, just on the top 3 strings. So that's our little triad shape for D. That's the chord from last week, D. And that's our little D shape up top. Okay, now E is the same, you just move up 2 frets. So off of our E here, we have this little baby E triad up top. So now as you run through, you're going to take your same rhythm track, and here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rock and roll. Strumming each, just once each time, right? Just trying to program the new shapes. Get the mind to move with the music. And have a little fun. Just don't move anything with the left hand, Keep this stable, whatever you do. You don't want to start noodling. Okay, so that is phase 1 of week 2, blues lead guitar. Welcome back to chromatic triads. So what we're going to do here is start to reapply these triads in more of a creative way. So the idea here is that we're going to play our A triad, which you should be familiar with at this point, And we're going to play every note in the triad and every note underneath each note. So the exercise looks like this, or it sounds like this, where you need this shape, but you also need this shape here. In other words, every note directly underneath. So the way we're gonna go through this, we're just gonna shuffle through it in eighth notes, but we're gonna go 6 into 7, 5 into 6. First finger 4, shift back into 5. So this little triad is just like that. It does get confusing though, because playing a note right next to the note that you're used to starts to make you get confused to some degree on the original chord shape. So that's the idea, and you're going to play this underneath the music, kind of like so we'll get into that more later, but you're going to shuffle it a little bit. So that's your A lick. You want to get familiar with this. Remember to get the document at Walker Guitar. That's going to make your life a lot easier too. It's all tabbed out for you. So you're going to go 6, 7, 5, 6, 4, 5. Okay, those are the fingers you want to use too. On the D chord, you're going to do, remember, a note underneath, always resolving up into the note in your chord. So you go 6, 7, 6, 7, 4, 5. There's your original shape. So it's 6, 7, 6, 7, 4, 5. So you don't even use the pinky. Okay, that's it. Now E is the same. Going to do the same structure. So if we run through the whole thing now, you want it to sound like this. Okay, so that's the idea. It sounds simple, but it's a little bit harder than it looks. Again, the goals are to get this at full speed to where you can play through the rhythm track and you can get through the whole song, and you start to anticipate what the chord is, and you can still see the chord even though you see these outside tones involved. So that's your chromatic triad ideas lesson.